What I'm speaking to you about today is inspired by the labour market speeches that Minister Solberg has done many, many times across Canada. Of course, as a public servant and the regional executive head for BC, Alberta, and the Territories for Human Resources and Social Development Canada, my speech will be driven by really our departmental policies and our programs. Just a little overview of what we're involved in along the themes of this conference. Let me also add that it reflects our mission at HRSDC and its delivery arm, Service Canada. Our goal is to make Canada a society in which all Canadians can use their talents, skills, and resources to participate in learning, work, and their community. In doing so, we hope we are helping to build a stronger and more competitive Canada. As the Prime Minister said on Thursday in announcing his cabinet, and I quote, "While the fundamentals of Canada's economy remain stronger, more stable, and more durable than those of many other nations, it is clear that we are not immune to what happens outside our borders. That is why the central responsibility of our new mandate will be to ensure that Canada's businesses and families have the security they need to weather any global economic storm." So we're at a critical time right now, but it is up to all of us as employers to make a difference, to bring together people who want to be part of the workforce and give them the opportunity to thrive as well. So I appreciate the opportunity this conference brings to present and share ideas that hopefully will lead to action plans, better decision making, and improved work environments. Ironically, I understand the Alberta Congress Board was formed in the 70s during another challenging economic time with the rapid development of the oil, natural gas, and petrochemical industries. I commend you all for recognizing that the core of any organization is its workforce. And what we need to do now is take stock of our respective organizations. Many of the topics on your conference agenda are of great interest to the Government of Canada and are extremely timely given the challenges that we're all facing. Our labour shortages continue to be some of the biggest challenges ahead for Canada, and particularly for Alberta. Business wrestles with this problem every day. Baby boomers are set to retire, and our low birth rate means that the demand for workers will continue to outstrip supply. The number of Canadians aged 55 to 64, those most likely to be thinking about retirement, jumped by 28% from 2002 to 2007. That's 3.7 million people now into that category. So where will we find the workers to make our society function? Many people in Canada want to work, but they haven't had the opportunity to become part of the workforce. This is where all of us as employers come in. We need to make the connection between those wanting to work and those of us needing workers. I'd like to talk to you this morning about the untapped segments of our society that often go unnoticed. With more than 1.2 million Aboriginal people living in Canada, a wealth of potential lies in our Aboriginal community. Through the Aboriginal Human Resource Development Strategy, or what in the government, because we all have our acronyms, which we affectionately call ARDS, this expands the employment opportunities of Aboriginal people across the country by helping people prepare for, find, and keep jobs. Aboriginal organizations design and deliver employment programs and services because they are best suited to meet the unique needs of their communities. Close to 16,000 Aboriginal people are taking part in the Government of Canada's Aboriginal Skills and Employment Partnership Program. This initiative helps foster private and public sector partnerships that help Aboriginal people get the skills and the training they need to take advantage of opportunities across Canada. Participants are involved in trades training and secure, sustainable, skilled jobs. Trade Winds to Success, an Alberta project under ASEP that provides Aboriginal participants with career decision-making and personal and academic supports, recently received $4.5 million in funding. This project is an example of how the Government of Canada, the Government of Alberta, unions, the private sector, as well as our Aboriginal employment partners have come together to create new opportunities that will have lasting benefits for this segment of the workforce. Here's a look at that.
My name is Tim Wilder. I'm working with Simplex for now as a first-year apprentice in sprinkler fitting. Previous to this, I was an equipment operator. That was too hard on my back, so I needed to get into something else. This particular job I got through the Tradewinds to Success program. It's an opportunity for Native people to get into the trades. What it gave me was my foot in the door, into the union, into the company. It gives me my start, is what it does.
We hired Tim as a first-year apprentice after he completed the Tradewinds program. He's worked on a couple of different sites now and hoping that he'll advance through his apprenticeship. And I'll definitely give some other people a chance to come through the program.
My cousin found out I was going through it, so she decided to try it as well. And today she's in her trade of choice, which is carpentry, and she seems to be doing quite well. I got to go through my 4 years of apprenticeship, and once I'm done my 4 years, I've become a journeyman.
Canada's rapidly growing Aboriginal population is definitely critical to our thriving Western labour market. The Government of Canada is also developing several other policies to foster an inclusive, diverse workforce. It's working in partnership with organizations and provincial and territorial governments to examine income and employment policies and programs and support for unemployed or underemployed Canadians. For example, we've made a major investment in training through our new labour market agreements with the provinces and territories. The government has committed $500 million a year in training across Canada, and that translates into $3 billion over the next 6 years. The agreement with Alberta was signed in September of this year and represents a significant investment in the people of Alberta by addressing employers' needs for more workers. In this province alone, nearly $316 million will be invested in the labour market via this program over the next 6 years. This equates to approximately 5,000 Albertans who will benefit directly from this investment. This is in addition to the existing labour market development agreement between the Government of Canada and the Government of Alberta, where another $105 million each year is projected to assist close to 40,000 clients. The province is delivering Alberta programming for Made in Alberta issues and doing a very good job. Now, I'd like to go back to something I mentioned a few moments ago, Canada's aging population, and I guess that's starting to include me, although I hate to admit it. In the next 40 years, the senior population is expected to be over 9 million people. While we need to be concerned about this, it is important for all employers to recognize the increasing importance of older workers in our labour force and the huge potential they offer. Initiatives such as the Government of Canada's Target Initiative for Older Workers supports unemployed older workers through activities including skills development aimed at reintegrating them into the workforce. Older workers have a wealth of knowledge and experience which they can apply and should have the opportunity to share. Now, I'd like to shift our focus to another segment of untapped potential, newcomers to Canada. Nearly 240,000 people arrive in Canada each year. Immigrants are drawn to the West in particular by our strong labour market, but are often less likely to be employed in their area of expertise. The Government of Canada is investing in this group through programs that integrate newcomers into the workplace while providing them the skills they need to reach their employment goals. Through partnerships with organizations that assist newcomers, we are able to enhance the labour market supports that we all already offer. Attracting and retaining the best talent, including those with international education, training and work experience, and ensuring that all newcomers are able to reach their full potential is critical to our country's long-term economic success and prosperity. Many of you are probably familiar with the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, which is designed to help employers recruit the employees they need where Canadians can't be found. Since 2005, Alberta employers have substantially increased their requests for temporary foreign workers. In 2006, employers requested over 28,000 workers through this program. This number jumped over 91,000 in 2007, And by September of this year, the number was already at 118,000 through this program. These are significant statistics that we can't ignore. And for the temporary foreign worker program, while our processing delays have virtually been eliminated, we continue to make enhancements that will be introduced, and more safeguards also have been built in partnership with the Government of Alberta to ensure that workers are protected and the terms of their employment are fulfilled. The Government of Canada recently announced a significant improvement in procedures for skilled temporary foreign workers who wish to immigrate permanently. Under the Canada Experience class, instead of being required to return to their country of origin before applying to immigrate, skilled class temporary foreign workers will now be able to apply directly from inside of Canada. And so here's one example of how newcomers to Canada are making a contribution at Wren Mill Centre right here in Alberta.
We're a manufacturer of agricultural farm machinery. We specialize in grain processing equipment. I decided to hire foreign nationals because there wasn't any manpower in Alberta that was available for hiring. There's more jobs in Alberta than there is people. The foreign workers has been the biggest breath of fresh air I've ever had in business. It's an absolute joy to have them here.
Going in here is a very good opportunity, not only for myself, but for my wife, especially for my 2 little kids.
I'm so happy to be here, and I decided to come here for the betterment of my family.
My first time to be separated with my loved ones, but I know in the long run they will benefit from this program. I believe so.
My other staff absolutely love having the guys here. They fit in very well. They're eager to work. They're polite. They love coming to work, and that is so exciting to have.
It's a beautiful country. It's a good place to live, especially for the people like me, for those who want to find the work.
Being here in Canada, it's like I found a gold mine.
I think Canada, one of the best places for those who want to migrate from one country to another. I like here. I'm just concerned with the weather. It's really cold here.
There will be culture shocks for the guys when they come here and it hits -40. They're not used to that. But to come in our work environment, no, their skills are what we need at our factory. We're happy to have them, and I believe they're happy to be here. This has probably opened my eyes up more than anything I've ever done before in my life. It's been the most rewarding experience working with these people and going to another part of the world and bringing people here and giving them a new opportunity. When you see hope enter people's eyes when they have a chance to go somewhere else and start a new life, it's a lot of work. It's a big process, but it is very rewarding at the end.
So that was just one example of how we as employers can make a difference with individuals such as these newcomers by offering them the opportunity to work while at the same time sharing in our successes. It's important to recognize that thousands of individual Canadians are not working to their full potential. This is both a daunting challenge and an opportunity because today, underemployed and unemployed people could realize their potential if given the right opportunities. Youth, for example, make up 1/5 of Canada's population. Not all young people have an opportunity for post-secondary education, nor in many cases is that their desire or dream. The Government of Canada's Skills Link program provides funding for organizations to help youth facing barriers to employment develop the broad range of skills, knowledge, and work experience they need to participate and succeed in our job market. Through Skills Link, youth benefit from a client-centered approach and ongoing support. This helps them complete activities successfully and ultimately find and keep a job. In turn, employers may receive financial assistance to cover costs associated with providing employment services and individual support to youth, By giving youth a chance and contributing to their development, employers are not only gaining a good employee, but are investing in a mutually beneficial arrangement that will have long-term benefits for all of us. So, for next clip, let me introduce you to Cindy from Nova Scotia, who has helped to reach her employment goals. Cindy went down to the Digby Disabilities Partnership Committee and entered the Youth Skills Employability Program, which assists young people between the ages of 15 to 30 who have to overcome some serious barriers sometimes to get into employment. Cindy is now working at Walmart, and she is but one example of the journey from dependence to independence and the dignity that comes with a job. All of it hinges on getting the right training. So let's hear her speak for herself.
I'm Cindy Dacey. I was 27 when I started working. Before, I'd be on the couch watching TV or sleeping. One day I woke up and said to myself, I want to work. So I went down at the DDPC. I was really afraid.
The program that we deliver here is called the Youth Skills Link Employability Program. It's a program we provide for youth, ages 15 to 30, who have barriers or disabilities to employment. Then we also partner with employers in our area.
So we did the program, and look where I am. I'm at Walmart, Digby County.
Cindy's been here for the last year and a half. She helps greet at the front of the store, and honestly, Cindy's willing to do anything in any area we need her, so it's fantastic.
We've got a nice boss, nice friends to work with, got a car now, I got a job now. Well, I got everything now.
Now, while some people may not consider a job at Walmart as the ultimate career choice, for Cindy, it obviously has made a huge, huge difference. I'd like you to pause and think for a moment about your workplace and the opportunities that you may have for somebody like Cindy. Did you know that 1 in 7 Canadians has a disability? And this number is expected to rise as our population ages. The Government of Canada's Opportunities Fund works in partnership with organizations, including the private sector, promoting and enhancing employment and learning opportunities for persons with disabilities. This program not only improves persons with disabilities' economic situation, but also their self-esteem once reconnected to the workforce. We as employers have a responsibility to enhance the participation of this group of our population. It's definitely the right thing to do.
What's it like to hire someone with a disability?
Just ask. Scott hasn't missed one day of work in the last 2 years he's been with us.
We only had to make minimal physical changes to accommodate Darcy.
At our company, safety has not been an issue.
It hasn't affected our insurance since we hired Matthew.
Canada Safely supports Alberta's untapped workforce.
Just ask.
Works for us.
Connect with Alberta's untapped workforce. Call 1-866-945-4633.
Building and developing Canada's labour force is a major focus for the Government of Canada. We can't succeed without strong partnerships with the provinces, territories, industry, employers, labour, as well as educators. This is a challenge that we all face together. It's up to all of us as employers to tap into our untapped resources, those Canadians I've talked about this morning. I hope that you take away one thing from my few minutes here in front of you this morning, that we all have an obligation to see that the people who have been left behind get the confidence, the lifelong opportunities, and hope for success in a job market that desperately needs them. Employers in Alberta are already hiring from groups who have traditionally been underrepresented in the workforce and doing very, very well. But we can still do much better. As this conference suggests, there is no time like the present to build diversity into our workforce, and it's a win for all. So I'll conclude there, and I thank you all for your attention. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
I think we have a few minutes for questions.
My name's Jack Benchop. I'm with the Iron Workers Local 720 in Edmonton. I enjoyed your presentation. It's very good. I'm glad you're helping to diversify the workplace. I hate to start on a down note, but does your department and does the federal government have a contingency plan? I'm thinking we're trying to find people to do jobs, but if there's a big enough turnaround in the world economy, and it sure looks like it this morning in the journal, are we going to be able to find jobs for people?
Can I stand here and tell you that that contingency plan has worked out? No, I can't. All I can tell you is that with the new cabinet being sworn in, that we are all now quickly shifting our focus to that type of a contingency plan.
Yes.
All departments, not just ours.
Yeah. Nevertheless, you're doing good work. I enjoyed your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Hi there, Barry Salmon. I'm with the IBW 424 Electrical Workers, and I too enjoyed your presentation, and thank you very much for being here. My union, like many other building trade unions, is incredibly involved in things like trade wins to success rather, and women building futures. And we, like most employers, would like to build the best to be our members, as you'd like them to be the best on the workplace, on the job site. But I need to, I think I need a little bit of a reality check on the temporary foreign workers program, particularly not only because of your presentation, but some of the things that have been said over the past couple of days. When we had the speaker from Bantrell, they have a very good success story, but I would point out that is not the usual case. Bantrell has brought in temporary foreign workers, and because they are a signatory to building trade unions, the people they brought in worked for the same wages and under the same conditions as all union members would in the province of Alberta. But it comes as no surprise to anyone here that many temporary foreign workers do not have that kind of they're not able to look back upon their experience as being quite so positive. And particularly I want to address one thing. You mentioned by your own stats that by September 118,000 requests for temporary foreign workers in the province of Alberta. There was, until only the middle of this year, absolutely no oversight on any of the standards under which these people had to work. In fact, the Alberta Federation of Labor, with its own funds, created an advocate office. And just to point out, in 6 months, in the first 6 months that advocate office was open, they received 1,400 calls from people working as temporary foreign workers in the province of Alberta. So I want to point out, presently, even with the government of Alberta's office to oversee this, and I stand to be corrected on the numbers, but I believe there's only 4 people to inspect the working standards of all these temporary foreign workers that are coming into Alberta. So I realize this, the reason I'm standing here is because this program could be a huge success. But I wonder, given the theme of our meeting here, diversity, I worry about the other ones that go home with less than a positive experience. I wonder, the difference between this being a Band-Aid solution and a long-term solution is very likely going to be the experience that these people have. And I would urge you and the government of Alberta to look a little more into putting that oversight into place before the program expands, so that when people come here to fill a very dire need that we have right now, that they have a positive experience, that they tend to stay here, and that their friends and family back home will be encouraged to come here as well.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if I can quite pick the question out of that, but I guess a couple things. Just to clarify, 118,000 requests. I should clarify, that doesn't mean we say yes to 118,000. There's obviously a lot of work we do to say yes and no, depending on what the prevailing wage rates requested are and what the labor market situation is in a particular area. So that's one thing. As to how many people work on this at the standards board with the province of Alberta, I'm not going to give you a number because I don't know it. I would just mislead the group. I know that the province of Alberta has certainly taken this seriously and I think is doing some very good stuff. Now, we're at the beginning of this too. This is a program, as I said, that went from 28,000 requests to 118,000. So we're also well aware of the concerns, and we're trying to make sure that that's taken into account.
With all due respect, I guess the question that I didn't put to you is, why isn't oversight thought of this before the program is launched, not some years down the road?
It's not that it wasn't thought of. I think that we're just in a little bit of a catch-up mode on this. That's about all I can say on that piece. I think that we continue to work on it. We continue to look at different ways to make sure.
Certainly like to thank Andy for his insightful presentation.